On top of this piece of paper, write the word factor. When you are asked to factor, ladies and gentlemen, and young adolescents in the prime of your youth, you are being asked to do the exact opposite of what we just learned. You are asked to really what I call do the reverse distributive property. Factoring means you start with something that has like a couple terms in it, and you have to go backwards and change it so that it has a parenthesis and something outside of the parenthesis. Let me go back to one that we just did. And through, let's not do that one. Let's not do that one. Let's not do that one. No, let's not do that one. Yeah, let's do that one. That means this. Here I am. What? I'm just going to write it down. 15, what? Was it 15 plus 5x?
I don't know.
5b.
Huh?
Plus.
Really? I didn't give you enough time to start.
5b.
15 plus 5b. Going back to that, sorry. My bad. 15 plus 5b. Here is what you are given this, and you are asked to factor this. In order to factor it, by the way, sometimes you can't factor it and it's unfactorable, but this one you can. When you're asked to factor it, you need to look at all the terms and see what number you can factor out of all of them, which will make very little to no sense till we talk about it. It's a little like thinking if you're trying to reduce a fraction. If you have these two numbers, you look at 15 and 5, because the b isn't going to matter just now, and you say, is there a number that goes into both 15 and 5? What we call a common factor. What number goes into 15 and 5? Brianna? 5. Once you find that number, you put that number down, and guess what that number is? We go back to this thing here, look, there was the 5. Then, you put a parenthesis down because we're doing the reverse distributive property. We're taking a number out and ending up with a parenthesis. Then you need to divide that number out or factor it out. It doesn't matter what you call it. So it'll look like this. First of all, if there is a plus or minus sign in there, there's going to be a plus sign there or a minus sign, depending on what it is. If I take 15 and divide it by 5, I'm left with a what? If I take a 5b divided by 5, I'm left with a 1b, but we don't write ones in front of letters. It's just a b. I mean, you could if you really want to, but I'll tell you in the end that's just goofy. 1b is the same as b, and this is your answer. You factored a 5 out of both of those, and it was 5 times 3 plus b, which is what we had. If I wouldn't have done all that stuff there, you would see it a lot. Oh, here it is. This is what we started with and ended up with this. When we factor, we start with this and go back to this. They're reverse things of each other. Okay? And again, it takes a little bit. Don't worry, we're not quite done yet. So here we go. What if I had this? 8x plus 24. And you are asked to factor that. the first thing you look at is what number can I divide both by? If you're looking at the 8 and the 24, now here's where you have to be careful because there's more than one answer to that. Does 2 go into both of these? Yes. Does 6 go into both of them? No. Does 4 go into both of them? Yes. Does 8 go into both of them? You always, always, always want to pick the biggest one you can find. Pick the largest number that'll go into it. So I decide 8 and 24 has a common, the biggest factor of 8. So I write the 8 down. Automatically, I write down parentheses. It's an addition parenthesis, so I put a plus there because there's going to be a plus there. And then you just have to say to yourself, okay, 8x, what times 8 gives you 8x? Or 8 divided by 8 is what? Blah, blah, blah. You get Grace? X, thank you. Or 1x if you're thinking 1x, but we don't write it down. Because 8 times x gives you 8x. And you do the same thing here. 8 times what gives you 24, or 24 divided by 8 is 3. 3 times 8 is 24. Reverse distributive property, also called factoring it out.
Now,
Oh, you already don't want to say that now. Let me give you another one. Let's do a 3-term thing. What if it was 6x plus 3y minus 24? And I asked you to factor that. And I asked you to factor that. 6x plus 3y minus 24. And I asked you to factor that. And I asked you to factor that. Please know that in your factoring, there's going to be a parenthesis with this. There's going to be a plus sign because of that plus sign, and there's going to be a minus sign. You need to fill in the proverbial blanks. In which case, you're looking at the numbers. In which case, you're looking at the numbers there. You have a 6, a 3, and a 24. What number goes into 6, 3, and 24? Kate?
3.
A 3. And that's the number that goes out here. By the way, you know there's going to be an x here because of that x, and you know there's going to be a y there because of that y. What do you multiply 3 by, or 6 divided by 3 is? For the first term, you're going to get 2. Because 3x, 3 times 2x will give you that 6x. Take a 3 out of that y, 3y term, you're left with root, just a y, please don't have to put the 1 there. And then take a 3 out of the 24, you're left with 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
Mr. Hans.
Oh. Now, question? Okay, so we've got 2 things. You've got the distributive property and you've got factoring. I'm going to write one down and you need to do both of them. Distributive property. Let's say I've got 7 times 3 plus m. Do the distributive property for that, and then I want you to factor this one. 16 t minus 24. Distributive property, this one, factor that one. Let's see how many people get both of those. Correct. Both of those correct. Okay, so if you struggle with this, you are with about 70% of people who do this for some reason they just don't catch it. To me, it's just Sometimes in math, you just say that's how it works, follow the rules and go with it. You always try to understand something. The top one, you're gonna get rid of the parentheses, and the bottom one, you're gonna end up with parentheses. Laney Kabar, for the distributive property, what did you come up with?
21 plus 7m.
21 plus 7m is correct. How many people got 21 plus 7m? And the second one, you're asked to factor out. Cameron, you factored out what?
16. Well, here I got 8.
On the outside?
Yeah.
You got 8, and then parentheses,
2t
2t
minus 3.
minus 3. And that is what I got. And you'd have to be careful because 4 does go into those, but you always want to take out the biggest thing you can. You always factor out the largest factor. Anybody put 4? Maybe 4? Yeah. Be careful with that, and that's why it's good to practice because you always want to take out the largest thing. I can sense that everybody wants to do one more go around. I will try to distribute this. 3 times r plus 2t minus 20. And then factor this. By the way, you can factor more than one thing too. What if I said 9x minus 36y plus 54? Distributive property of this, factor that. Distributive property of this, factor that. And the lower part is what? Alright, for the top one, if you are distributing Maddie Roth, I'm going to take 3 times all of those things and going to get what?
3r
Wait, don't go too fast. 3r
plus 16
plus 6t. 3 times 2 is 6. What? What's that? Minus 60. Well done. That's what I was got as well. You got that one. Where did we go wrong, Mitch? Any idea?
No idea.
3 times r, 3 times 2t, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 20, 60. I'll find out. On the bottom one, factoring. Factoring. Danny Baumgartner. What is the biggest number you can take out of all of those? Unfortunately, 3 is one of them, but it's not the biggest. Bigger than 3, you could have taken out a 9. And then you're going to end up with parentheses. And there's going to be a minus in there, and there's going to be a plus right there. What are going to be the things inside the parenthesis? First one there, Carol Winkleman, is going to be a what?
x
9 times x. You take a 9 out of that, you're left with that. Here, take a 36 divided by 9, or you ask 9 times what is 36y? You're going to have a tie. 4. And a y. And then what times 9 gives you 54? Kate?
6
6. 4, 9 factor. planter, packer, tractor, protector. I don't know if I can give you any more. Believe it or not, there's more stuff to do, but